Welcome to our video tutorial demonstrating how to check in a family or individual within your Lambs List account. To get started, we'll first need to locate the family or individual. Now to do so, on the home page, we've got two different options. We've got the assisted check-in, which is going to be where your volunteers are interacting with the families or individuals to begin the check-in process. We also have a self-check-in option, and this is going to be where the families or individuals come into a computer screen and they can either enter in their 7-digit phone number, or if you guys use a barcode scanning system, they can scan their barcode. These options are also available under registration, and for today's purposes we're going to go ahead and start with the assisted check-in. Now the first thing that you're going to see when you come into the assisted check-in is going to be an alphabet across the screen, as well as the gray ABC box up at the top. What this is going to identify is that you're going to be searching by the first letter of the last name for the family. We also have three other options that are available, and we'll go ahead and click on the phone. This is going to be a search by the 7-digit phone number. You're also able to, if you wanted to, scan a barcode on this screen. And this screen will also be similar to the self-check-in screen that we'll take a look at here in just a moment. We also have a third option that's going to be A through Z, 1 through 4, and this is going to be for a partial amount of information that we're going to be looking up by. For example, this system or this option is often used when children are being dropped off, or if you guys have a bus ministry and maybe a child doesn't know how to spell their last name completely, or maybe they don't know their full phone number. You could put a partial amount of information in. The system's going to look through this and try and identify anybody who could potentially be a match. The fourth option is going to be a search by individual or by person. You can just put in their first name or their family name, or if you'd rather, you can just choose a classroom, and it's going to list everybody who qualifies for that classroom so that you could be able to check them in. For today's purposes, we're going to go ahead and go back to the ABC and search by the first letter of the last name. So we'll go ahead and click on A, and we'll go into Abshire. And you'll notice on this screen that it does list all the family members of the Abshire family. It also provides the rooms that they qualify for. Now you'll notice that 3 of the individuals do not have a room, or that shows that they are not available. 2 of those are going to have golden colored text, and that shows that they're adults, so they probably just aren't scheduled. They're probably volunteers but aren't scheduled at this time. And then the child with the black text is going to show that that is a child, and the reason why they're probably not available is it may be a situation where they're a youth and the youth room just isn't available for this service. The next column is going to be the pager column, so if you wanted to assign a pager to a child, you could do so prior to checking them in. We have a code column, and I'll explain that here in just a moment. The tools column offers for you to be able to put in a memo. The memo is a one-time informational message to the teacher in their classroom. So if the parent needed to let the teacher know that maybe Darlene is teething today, or Darlene's having an issue, it's just a one-day issue, you could click on memo, put that into the field there, click save, and then when you check them in, that would be able to print onto the label. And then finally, we have the comments and allergies field. If there are any comments or allergies, they would be listed in this field for the individuals. The comments would be in black, the allergies would be in red. Now to check in a child or to check in an individual, what you would need to do is, you'll notice there's a blue dot next to each person's name who has a classroom that they're eligible for. To check them in on an individual level, you would click on the blue dot next to that person's name, or if you wanted to check everybody in that's eligible for a classroom that day, you could come down to the bottom and click on the check mark that says check in all. Now for today, we're just going to go ahead and individually check in Darlene, so we'll go over and click on the blue dot next to Darlene's name, and you'll notice that there's a couple of changes that happened. First, you'll notice that there's a check mark that's listed in the blue dot next to Darlene's name. You'll also notice in the code column that there is now a number listed there. This is going to be the security code for the child for that day. Now there's 2 different options for assigning a security code. There's random security codes or static security codes. The random codes are going to change every time that child checks in, so they'll never have the same exact code number. Those codes can be 3, 4, or 5 digits in length. And then also we have that static static option. The static is going to be where you go in and you assign a specific code to a child, and every time they check in they'll have that same code. Those security codes print off on the child and the parent labels, so it helps to increase security, identifies who the child came in with, and shows that the parent that's coming to pick them up is the one that brought them that day. You'll also notice in the tools column that we've added a couple more options. We've got a reprint option as well as a checkout option. You don't have to check the kids out if you don't want to. The system will automatically check them out and record the data at midnight, but if you wanted to, you can use this option or other options that are available throughout Lamb's List. Now, if for example you didn't mean to check in a child, you can always undo that check-in. The way that you do that is coming over to the check mark, clicking on that option, and a box will pop up. It'll say, are you sure you want to undo this check-in? When you click on OK, what that's going to do is it's going to remove that check-in, and it's going to be as if it never happened. It does not record the data, it just removes that check-in. Now, the second option that we have for check-in is going to be the self-check-in option. And with this option, you're going to again type in a 7-digit phone number, or if you're using a barcode scanning system, you can just scan the barcode from this screen as well. We'll go ahead and enter in a phone number and click on Find. And this is going to bring up our family again. It's going to work the exact same way for check-in. You can either click on the individual blue dot next to the child's name, or you can click on Check-in All. And there's also going to be a little bit of a timer on this screen. You'll notice that it just came up and asks if you need some additional time. You can go ahead and click on I need more time. And then we'll just come down and we'll click on Check in All to show that we can check in both of the children. Now once we've completed that, we can click on the Done button, and this will bring us back to the self-check-in screen. Now you will notice that there is an exit kiosk mode. Once you're in the self-check-in screen, you are not able to leave the self-check-in screen unless you log out with a username and password. That again is for security purposes, to make sure that people aren't able to access information in other accounts. This concludes our video tutorial on how to check in families and individuals in your Lamb's List account.